Okay, so it was a really exciting one for Nigeria and Nigerians as the Super Eagles of Nigeria triumphed over the Panthers of Gabon. 4 goals to 1 that game ended. Fantastic performance from the Super Eagles. Um, Akko Adams opened scoring in the 77th minute or so, but somehow in the 80 something
Okay,
in the
90 minutes.
89th minute, uh,
Mario Lemina.
Gabon got one back via a deflection, and the game went into extra time where Chidera Ejuke grabbed the second goal of the game for Nigeria, and of course, star striker Victor Osimhen grabbed 2 goals in extra time to give Nigeria a comprehensive 4-1 victory over the Panthers of Gabon to qualify us for the finals of the playoff in the African region.
Yeah, so the first half was um very good for me
Yeah.
because we dominated the game, we created
Mm.
a lot of chances.
Yeah.
But what I noticed in the second half was that the Panthers, they came out,
They grew into the
they
game. Yeah.
grew into the game, and
Mm.
because even while I was watching the game with a few of my friends, they kept complaining about our first half performance, and I told them, you should be happy you are able to dominate the
The
game
game.
this way,
Yes. Yeah.
because the Gabonese, the Panthers, they are also a well coached team. They also have big
Mm.
players, and then they
Yeah.
were able to figure out our system,
Yeah.
and then they came on all out for us. We were
Mm.
lucky to have scored from a mistake from
Defender.
the
Yeah.
Gabonese defender,
Yeah.
but they were also lucky to score from
A deflection. Yeah.
a deflected strike.
Mm.
But when it came to the extra time, we showed them who's the boss.
Yeah. So great game for Nigeria. Quickly, let's look at Victor Osimhen's performance in this particular game. First half, second half here, we could have said it was very wasteful in the game. In fact, in the 100th minute of that game, just before we went into extra time, he had that one-on-one that he completely missed the target. But somehow, mentality, is this why we call him a world-class striker?
Yeah, I think Osimhen is top 5 strikers in the world right now.
Mm.
And in the first half, it was the goalkeeper that was denying him.
Yeah.
But somehow in the second half, he began to miss chances. As a matter of fact, he missed 2 clear chances
Mm.
during injury time
Yeah.
of the second half.
Yeah.
2 clear chances that he ought to have put away. And what really pained me most was that they both went off target.
Completely off target.
They
Yes.
went off. It was like a horror show watching it
Yeah.
for me. And Osimhen is one player that I love so much. I genuinely care about. So when he missed those chances, I felt that he had inflicted injuries on me. But the good thing was that he was able to rectify the mistake.
Yeah.
The fourth goal, people that can score that fourth goal in the world right now, they're not up to 3 or 4. Look at the way he brought down the long ball.
Yeah.
Chested it down, before he was in
Controlled
the
it
crowd
through
of
about
like
two,
four
the defenders,
players
and
before
then
scoring.
scored. Yeah.
If this was Messi or Ronaldo, could have had reels from different angles. We ought to promote our own more.
Yeah, yeah. So great game from Victor Osimhen. For me, it's mentality to keep trying, because for any striker in the world, you are going to miss chances. In fact, Messi and Ronaldo have missed more chances than they have scored. It's just the way the game is. So to be able to bounce back and still keep trying, for me,
mentality.
yes, it's something that Victor Osimhen has. And for me, it's a very impressive. But Nigerians were waiting to pounce on him if we had not qualified. But we thank God, luckily for him, we were able to find our way out of that predicament.
Yeah, someone wrote on Facebook that when Osimhen missed that chance at the 101 minutes
of the game,
yeah, someone said the baton of insults was passed at that moment, was passed from Yakubu Ayegbeni
to Victor Osimhen,
and it took him rectifying it
in extra time. Yeah,
he said Yakubu Ayegbeni may have felt a weight lifted off
off his shoulders at that point. Yeah. So Victor Osimhen, congratulations! And I saw a lot of people asking for his account number, so they can do something in case the NFF have still not credited
I have the account number 8141941900.
Okay, a great performance from Victor Osimhen. But quickly, let's look at some individual performances in this game. Don't forget to please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. It does not cost you anything to just hit the subscribe button and drop your likes and comments on this particular video. It goes a long way in supporting what we are doing here on Sports Unfiltered. Thank you for doing just that. Quickly, let's look at some individual performances from the game. Really, I personally was not impressed with our midfield. Ndidi and Iwobi, okay, Ndidi had a better performance in extra time. We can look at the assist for the goal for Chidera Ejuke, but general play in midfield, we look really poor.
No, this is it. This is what happened. In the first half, you could see Osimhen, because we played basically a flat 4-4-2 formation. That meant that we were flat-footed in the midfield. So what happened was that you saw Osimhen always dropping down to the midfield to become the third man.
Yes.
You saw Adams.
Adams stay up front.
Stay up front.
Yes.
At other times they switched. One of them was always dropping down
into the midfield to support
and
the midfield.
And we were not playing two wingers at any point in time.
Okay.
One of them would drop into the midfield while the other one would remain on the flank, and then they would also switch. So it meant that we had a lot of players in the midfield. And that's how we had a lot of possession that were not translated into clear-cut chances.
Yes.
We had half chances all through the first half. And there was one Osimhen missed when he collided with the goalkeeper. There was another one that the goalkeeper
saved.
We were able to dominate the midfield because we had numbers in the midfield. But somehow that changed in the second half, because the Gabonese, the Panthers, they were able to press aggressively. They were able to, and then I think the coach might have instructed Osimhen to remain in his position. So he really dropped
into the midfield.
Dropped into the midfield to create an extra passing lane. And that's why possession-wise we were poor in the second half. So it's not really about the woefulness of Ndidi and Iwobi in the midfield. It was that they were wrong-footed, they were flat-footed, just two of them against, like, at a point in time, even Mario Lemina had to even move to the left flank because they injected many midfielders, that's the Panthers, they injected midfielders into their system such that Lemina had to even move to the left flank. So that meant that Iwobi and Ndidi were always outnumbered. So that was what affected our game. It wasn't really their fault per se.
Yeah, and also now another where I would have blamed them really was the fact that even though we dominated the game in the first half in midfield, we did not see a lot of chances created from the midfield. Indeed, for me, Iwobi had a good first half. Yeah, we could see what he was trying to do, but we had a lot of misplaced passes in the midfield also. And this is where I want to get on somebody. I will not blame him really, but I think Ademola Lookman and Chukwueze were completely just out of that game yesterday.
I think they had a good first half. Let me put it that way. But with the tactics of the Gabonese coach in the second half, it meant that our midfield were outnumbered.
Okay.
You understand? It meant that our midfield were outnumbered at all points in time. So now, when the midfield is outnumbered, they could not get service in the flank. So I think what our coach should have done, I'm not trying to say that I understand the Super Eagles team more than he does, but I feel what he should have done was to continue the good work he started in the first half by instructing one of his centre forwards
to keep
drop down into the
midfield
to support them. Then one of the wingers too. During the build-up phase, we need people at the center of the park during the build-up phase to move the ball from the defensive phase to the midfield phase before the attacking phase. So if we're able to get to the attacking phase, then you can now go to your individual position and try to bring out the crosses into the box, or to try to make one or two passes in. So the problem is that we were outnumbered
in midfield. And sometimes, so when you are outnumbered in midfield, wisdom and tactics can tell you to now open up the game and use your wingers more and stretch the game. But somehow, I think that Ademola Lookman has not played enough for Atalanta this season. So it has really affected him. For me, this is not the Ademola Lookman that we saw when he was crowned African Player of the Year. I hope really that he's able to get his form back before we go to the African Cup of Nations, really, because an informed Ademola Lookman, an informed Samuel Chukwueze, and an informed Victor Osimhen will be a complete nightmare for defenders during the African Cup of Nations. So we hope that they're able to get their form back before them. But people that I think really deserve our praise again in that game is probably our defense line. Fantastic pairing. Benjamin Frederick and Calvin Bassey looked very, very comfortable.
You know, a writer on Facebook said, we complain often that our footballers do not perform in the national team the way they perform for the club.
Yes.
But that with Calvin Bassey, the reverse is the case.
Yeah, it does better for Nigeria than for him.
Yes. You know, it had a superlative. In fact, that's the best game he's had in the national team.
Yeah.
And I think our kudos to Eric Shell. He is able to understand now that Trustekong might be the captain, but he cannot play again. You know,
true.
At the point in time when Gary Neville in Manchester United was, you know, a bit old, he was the captain, but he was the captain from the bench.
Yeah.
The same was the same happened with Ryan Giggs. The same happened with Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
During the under Jose Mourinho's stewardship. The same thing happened to John Terry.
Yeah.
You understand? So you might still be the captain, but you don't have to play every minute.
Every minute.
So I think so. The coach was able to fix that, and you know, it was just if not for the deflected strike, we could have had a
clean sheet in the game.
So, like I said, I've always been saying this. This is my philosophy. You know, the national team do not have as much time to prepare as the club side.
Yes, true.
And so I don't think that we have the quality of players to actually play this
tiki-taka, free-flowing football,
even the high pressing intensity game, the Gegen pressing game. So I think we ought to have a very strong defensive base. When we came second at the Nations Cup in 2024 at Cote d'Ivoire, it was because we had a very strong defensive base. We were just winning every game by 1 goal. And in fact, we were playing 3 center defenders then. So if we have a very strong defensive base, we can go anywhere as a national team. And then we can now develop football from the grassroots to now have more qualitative. We already have quality players, but we should have a wider pool of
players to select from at every point. Yes. So Williams Troost-Ekong, fantastic captain for Nigeria. He has been a very reliable servant for the country. But for me, I think that it's time we begin to look forward. Calvin Bassey and Benjamin Fredericks look like the future of that Nigerian defense, really.
Yes, of course.
Zaidus Sanusi had a good game too for us at left fullback, since Ola Aina seems to be injured currently. And of course, Bright Osayi had a very good game too.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this now. Do you see why it's good to pay people what they are due? Or why it's good to have an agreement in place on how you are going to pay them? And I can tell you that these players, they feel abused. Because when you don't give people what is agreed on, it can even affect their mental health. They don't get old in their club sides. And these guys have people in their clubs that play for other teams.
True.
From other national teams.
Yeah.
And so they tend to discuss, they tend to ask questions. Do you get old in England? Do you get old in France? Do you get old in Germany? Do you get old in Portugal? Do you get old in Paraguay? So now, imagine our performance, even though they boycotted training.
Yes.
I don't care about the amount that they have negotiated. I don't. Sincerely, that's not my business. If you want to negotiate allowances for the players and say, okay, it's just $1,000. In fact, we shouldn't even be using dollars as our mode of remuneration. Let's say you tell them, we're giving you 3 million naira for every time you represent the national team, you are a part of the squad. Give them when due. You understand? So I think the effect of settling that matter was what came in yesterday, and they played well. So this is an advice to the NFF, please. Under the leadership of Ibrahim Gusau, please don't owe these guys. Pay them what is due. This would be another form of motivation to them to do what they ought to do.
There's a report that came out on Wednesday during that old debacle that the Nigerian president had to step in and release funds to clear all of those outstanding. And we even heard that about 17 billion has been made available to clear the debts for all of the other national teams. So I hope that this is done quickly, because if they can owe the Super Eagles this much, what happens to under 17 and under 20 and the Falcons?
And you know, and when you say this, these guys, they already earn big bucks. You understand?
Yeah.
Let's just take it to the poor cleaner,
Yeah.
the poor gatekeeper.
Mm.
You understand? Who is even working in the private sector, who was not given an employment letter.
Yeah.
Do you see how hard it will be for them? So we have to set precedents from top to bottom.
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
to start from the top. Let us see a certain level of cleanliness at the top. And again, I have to say this: the president stepping in, although I'm yet to personally verify that story, the president stepping in is wrong, because you are empowering the NFF to continue their lackadaisical approach to finances in football. I'm telling you, what the president should have done was to order the Senate to immediately have a hearing. People should go to jail if they mismanage that funds. People should be disgraced for life if they misappropriated funds. I'm telling you the truth. The NFF is an independent body that ought not to carry battle bowls to Aso Rock to beg for funds. What they have to do is that they have to look for creative ways to make money. They are super connected. People who are as connected as the NFF in this country are not more than 1,000 or 2,000, and we have a population of 230 million people. So it should be able to meet corporate bodies. It should be able to liaise with them, negotiate with them, get them to sponsor our football by being transparent. That's the first step. You also have to manage the money that you get from CAF and FIFA. So we don't have to keep spending our collective patrimony on our football teams. That is wrong. That money is for our collective development. If the president wants to support football, it should be from the grassroots level. It should be, building facilities for grassroots people to step into the football game, not to pay the allowances of established stars. That should be under the portfolio of the NFF.
Of the federation. Okay. We thank God. I think that what the president did for me was just to quickly remedy the situation so that we can finish with the qualifiers. But I hope that there is a hearing from the National Assembly to know what really went wrong, because this was a national embarrassment of the highest order. Okay. This is somebody I've tried not to pile on, but I think we need to talk about him. Stanley Nwabali.
AKA Bahubali. Now, I don't say this to I know you are lost. I know you are.
Yeah.
I know you don't even know how to.
I'm trying to be careful with my words. Yes.
We don't call you Bahubali because we want to insult or mock you. It's just a very funny wordplay. Actually, no disrespect to you, but this is it. I think that I complained about this, that our last two qualifiers, it was the way he acted. He was acting with impunity, and I kind of did not like it. He thinks he's Oliver Kahn. This is exactly how Oliver Kahn used to behave. Oliver Kahn would want to fight, would want to quarrel, would want to act like he owns the pitch. But we are way past that in football. You understand? What we need, anything that is okay in this world right now, they have a goalkeeper who is level-headed. You understand? You can even you can say, for example, Victor Valdez wasn't the best shot stopper when he was in Barcelona, but you already knew what to expect. We should not have a goalkeeper who is a walking time bomb. You want to have somebody who you are confident that this person is behind you. Look at the likes of Pechek. Look at the likes of even David Raya in Arsenal. Sene Lamens came to Manchester United. By the time he played 45 minutes, they were already likening him to Peter Schmeichel because they saw a certain level of balance and confidence that you ought to have. You understand the point? Bahubali is a good goalkeeper. No doubt about that. He's probably the best goalkeeper that we currently have in the national team. But I do believe that if he continues like this, he should be dropped for Maduka Okoye, who is in Udinese, or for even Amaso Basoje, who received a yellow card yesterday because he came onto the pitch to give Victor Osimhen his mask.
Okay. So for me, Nwabali had a fantastic African Cup of Nations. That's where we got introduced to him. But since then, he has had good performances. But in the last 2-3 games, like you mentioned, I've observed a certain level of, let's say, overconfidence.
Nonchalance, not overconfidence. That's nonchalant. You don't care.
Thinking that you are still going to be the number one choice no matter what
Anything
happens.
can happen.
You know, and for me, that is not impressive. You should also realize that the world is watching. Your career isn't just limited to the Super Eagles and Africa. You should realize that you could also sign for a big European team, and this kind of attitude will not endear you to any major European side. So we hope that he's able to get his head in the right place. Maybe he needs a talking to from the
Yeah,
captain or some senior members
even the
of the
coach,
team,
because
yes, and the coach, of course, so that because he's he is supposed to coordinate that defense line. If you look at the goal we considered, it's 89 minutes. Why are we that open in the first place? You
yes,
understand? So
yes,
there's a
yes.
lot he needs to do apart from
Although I
just
don't
making
fault him for
saves
the goal, but
and of course wasting time like
yes, yes,
he is used to. We should also have him coordinate the defense line and of course be somebody that they can rely on as the game goes on. That's it for the Super Eagles game quickly. We'll step into other issues now from the qualifiers, but don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing to subscribe. Your likes and your comments really encourage us and help us to know that we're doing our jobs well and you're enjoying the show.